morning I watched one of the two Ava Gardner movies that were featured on TCM on Monday that I had not seen before. The other one I hope to watch before it expires this Monday, so hopefully I get into it soon. But the first one was the priority, which was The Night of the Iguana, which is directed by John Huston. And it's based on a play by Tennessee Williams. I've actually seen the play performed live on stage at the Ashland Theater, the Shakespeare Company Theater, but it was many, many moons ago. So I only sort of remembered parts of the story. So it was really fun to revisit it. My one complaint really about the whole movie was that it was shot in black and white, and it's so beautifully shot on location in Mexico that I'm like, you couldn't get the budget to do this in glorious Technicolor? There's all these beautiful production stills of it in color, and I didn't realize it was in black and white because I'd seen all those stills, and then it's in black and white. I'm like, but it's... So, I wish it had been in color. But it's a great adaptation. It's very Tennessee Williams. This is this late era Tennessee Williams sort of pre-boom. Things are going nuts with his adaptations. This is right around the same time Summer and Smoke came out. 50s Tennessee Williams is very sort of low-key compared to 60s Tennessee Williams adaptations. So this stars Richard Burton as an Episcopal priest who's had a breakdown over being judged for having sexual relations with a quote-unquote young Sunday school teacher, which makes you wonder if perhaps she was underage. They imply that. I can't remember in the play if they straight up say it. They probably do. Funny though, because I grew up in the Episcopal Church, and those priests got a lot of problems, just like Catholic priests, except that Episcopal priests don't have to be celibate. They can be married and have families, but they still fuck around a lot. And I grew up in a really, really, really small hamlet town, and at the time in the late 80s, early 90s, the church would put all of the really problematic priests in our diocese because they were you can handle it in a small town. That's sort of how they dealt with it. They moved the priests around and then they stick them in, Wild West outposts. Fortunately, by the late 90s, we had a really nice priest who, she was a woman and she was great. So, that's the church. So 2 years later, he finds himself as a leader of a really cheap tour based in Texas that takes people down to, religious people down to Mexico. We follow him on a tour with a bunch of teachers who include Sue Lyon, who is not a teacher, but the niece of one of the teachers. She is playing off of that Lolita-esque nature that she was, coasting on after Lolita. So she's sort of a nymphette, if you will, who is flirting with literally everybody and causes some shenanigans, and that creates problem for our priest Shannon, Reverend Shannon, played by Burton. So he tries to waylay them in this hotel that's sort of off the beaten path that was run by a friend of his. What he does not know is that there is now a phone in this hotel, so the isolation does not work. And two, his friend has died and is now run by his widow, played by Ava Gardner. The rest of the movie takes place over one night and early one day, one night, one day again, morning, where all of the different characters sort of mix and match. Oh, and before the night begins, they also, another person arrives at the hotel, Deborah Kerr, with her 97-year-old poet grandfather. And they are at the end of their money on this tour that they're doing, and he is at pretty much the end of his life. He's 97. That adds more to the sort of triple, I wouldn't call it a love triangle, because they're all sort of attracted to him and not attracted to him, and he's attracted to them and not attracted to them, and he's also attracted to alcohol, and he's just got a lot of problems. And what I really liked about the film was that it felt really real about the way people deal with attraction and don't necessarily declare love, but ask questions and try to get intimate in ways of the mind rather than just the body. It also, each of the three main characters, Burton, Gardner, and Carr, get an equal amount of screen time and an equal amount of character development, and I really enjoyed that. And they have great rapport with each other when all three are on screen, or when combinations of the two, or two at a time, are together. Gardner gives one of her best performances. She is just on fire in this movie. I found myself relating to both of the women a lot, which was great, and I wasn't as revolted by the Burton character as I think you're supposed to be. I kind of felt for him, and I think that's a testament to Burton's great empathy as an actor who can make you feel for his characters even when they're morally reprehensible. Sue Lyon is very luminous. She is, however, filmed very male-gazy, and that I always find really uncomfortable, especially when she's supposed to be a teenage girl. So that was a little gross. And the Mexican characters are all treated like background props, and obviously this is 1964. This is really a film of its time. That's unfortunate, and it's like specifically these two cabana boys that the Gardner character keeps around are really, really treated like props, and it's kind of disgusting. The other thing is like Tennessee Williams' female characters. Sometimes I'm like, yes, I get this, and other times I feel like he hates all women, and it's fascinating. And maybe he oscillated between like hating women and really relating to them, because that's how I always feel watching his films. Like every single film of his with a woman, there's half the time I'm like, yes, this character gets women, and half the time I'm like, you really hate women, wow. And maybe that's because he gets women, I don't know. What's your favorite? Everyone tell me who your favorite like Tennessee Williams heroine is, because half the time it's I love I just forgot her name from Streetcar, but half the time I really love the Geraldine Page character from Summer and Smoke. Like all those repressed women who like can't get any, I like feel that deeply right here. So Tennessee Williams like really delves into like spinsterhood in a way that like few writers really do. Like a good deal of his oeuvre is about either spinsterhood or repressed sexuality, or women who are ostracized for being sexual creatures, and I find that really fascinating about him as a creator of characters. So I recommend this. It's on Watch TCM for another couple of days. I think it's on DVD. You can find it. It's good. It's one of the better, I think, Tennessee Williams adaptations. It's from 1964. Definitely check it out.